Sam, thank you. We are following breaking news at this hour. The trial of former Ronnie O'Bannon, former DJ, will not happen after he pleaded guilty to a lesser charge in the death of a woman at a Louisville nightclub. Ronnie O'Bannon was charged with fatally shooting 37-year-old Kashmira Nash at Vibes Restaurant and Ultra Lounge over Derby weekend in 2021. That jury trial was expected to begin today, but O'Bannon entered a guilty plea for reckless homicide and tampering with physical evidence. He was sentenced to 2.5 years on each of those counts to be served at the same time. However, he was credited for time served, meaning he doesn't have to serve any more time since he's been on home incarceration. O'Bannon was the former DJ for Jack Harlow. Stay up to date with us as we learn more about the story. Alexis Jones will have more coming up tonight at 4, 5, and 6. A massive new development project near Cherokee Park is looking to get funding from Metro government, but people who live nearby are concerned about what that means for their taxes. Alex Dieterer explains.
It sits on a wedge of just 7 acres at Lexington and Grinstead. The future plans, an 18-story tower with a 10-story tower where Jim Porter's Tavern once drew crowds. Along with it, restaurants, housing, and a grocery store. In a packed room.
Look at the tax base that generates.
Did that come from taxpayer money?
Over 30 people showed up to a public hearing about a special taxing district called a TIF. It would pump tax money back to the developers to help fund the project.
We believe the developer should pay for his own project and get his own investors.
If built according to the current plan, Jefferson Development Group, the Louisville-based developer, would be able to use $114 million in tax dollars over the next few decades.
I supported the rezoning for the project when I was on Metro Council, but I think the developer should pay for it and not the taxpayers.
24 people took the podium to voice their opinions. All but 3 were against.
The people who live around there don't want it, so please don't use our tax money to pay for something that we don't want around.
The One Park project will affirm our city's commitment to the future of urban development and help us remain competitive to attract and retain economic investment, talent, and visitors.
The bottom line at the meeting, keep their tax dollars out of the project. Alex Dieterer, WHAS11, on your side.
As far as the next steps go, the Labor and Economic Development Committee is meeting today, and if that committee moves forward with a recommendation, the ordinance will need Metro Council's approval before going into effect. This project has been in the works since 2016 and scaled back quite a bit. You can read all about it, including which projects have already received approval, on our website at WHAS11.com. A historic building in downtown Louisville can now be torn down. The Kentucky Court of Appeals just made the ruling on the Oddfellows building at 3rd and Ali. It dates back to the late 1800s. Preservationists worked for years to save it, but the Omni Hotel owns that property and has said it wants to use it for a future project. In 2021, the Metro Council voted to remove that historic landmark status, but the Louisville Historic League challenged it and got approval from a judge. Well, that was just overturned by this Court of Appeals. 2 buildings in Jeffersonville are up for auction right now. If you've ever driven over the 2nd Street Bridge, you've definitely seen them. The Louisville Municipal Bridge Building and the Southern Indiana Visitor Center building are right next to each other on Southern Indiana Avenue. The 2 will be sold as a package deal to the highest bidder. That bridge building was built in 1929 and is listed on the National Register of Historic Places. Combined, the 2 buildings are more than 6,000 square feet of space. Bidding ends a week from today. We just learned State Senator Denise Harper Angel announced that she will not seeking re-election in 2024. Senator Harper has been representing District 35 in the Kentucky State Senate since 2005. Before being in the General Assembly, she made history as the first woman elected as Jefferson County Property Valuation Administrator, serving from 1990 to 2004. In a statement, Senator Harper said, quote, "It's time for a new chapter focusing on my personal life and creating cherished memories with my family." We are expecting the JCPS board to tackle 2 major topics this evening, starting with the vacant District 1 seat. This board called a special meeting this afternoon for discussions it said would lead to an appointment. As of now, the spot remains empty following the resignation of Diane Porter back in October. Applications were due last week. That meeting begins at 4:45. And then at 6 this evening, it's the regularly scheduled board meeting with transportation updates on the agenda. The board is expected to examine progress made in the the past few months with drop-off times and the hiring of more bus drivers. According to that agenda, at least 10 drivers started this week. They'll also review the new process of handling bus referrals, which started last month, and the move toward transporting fewer students by bus in the coming school years. We'll have a crew of both of those meetings today, so look for updates as we get them in the WHAS11 news app, as well as tonight on the night team. The man charged with trying to kill a Metro police officer pleaded not guilty. A grand jury indicted Dominique Thompson last week in connection to a shooting that injured Officer Brandon Haley. Investigators say on September 7th, Thompson fired shots from inside a home near 38th and Kentucky, hitting Haley in his chest. Thompson appeared in court for the first time yesterday and pleaded not guilty to several charges, including assault and wanton endangerment. He's being held on a $50,000 cash bond. And a Southern Indiana business owner is accused of skipping out on his taxes. 51-year-old Frankie Garrett was arrested Monday. He's the owner of Garrett General Grocery on South 4th Street in Utica, Indiana. State police and the Indiana Department of Revenue said he failed to report more than $40,000 in taxable sales from 2019 to 2023. He's facing several felonies now, including corrupt business influence and theft. Right now, a West Louisville community is grappling with the loss of 2 people in a house fire, and we know one of the victims was a child. It happened around 6 Monday morning at a home near the intersection of Cecil and Hale Avenue. Our senior reporter Isaiah Kim Martinez and photojournalist Jessica Farley were there.
Fire officials describe one of the 2 victims as a young school-aged child. We actually saw right up front a pink bicycle. It's something that has drawn people from across the city to pay their respects. We talked to a few of them who say their connections run deep. Much of the family's other belongings singed, destroyed, now collecting on the front porch. Firefighters assessing the damage on the inside, cleaning up both floors.
This is a terrible tragedy.
Louisville fire officials tell us they believe the fire started around flammable items near a space heater in the living room.
It's very, very difficult. It's very painful.
Fire Chief Brian O'Neill says crews responded within minutes, rescuing 3 people from inside, 2 of them, an adult and a child, not making it. A third person, another adult, taken to the hospital in critical condition. O'Neill confirms there were other people in the home who got out in time and okay.
At this point, I don't know how I have to say exactly what happened.
Bienvenu Kadolo is a member of the Congolese community of Louisville, representing at least 500 citizens in the city, many refugees from the African country. He, like many who showed up to the scene Monday, quickly heard tragedy had struck some of their own.
They support each other as a families. That's why when they saw something happens, the first emotion is a crying.
We're told the house did have working smoke detectors, keeping it from being a complete loss. Regardless, a family is now living through unthinkable pain. O'Neill saying,
in the spirit of the holiday season, yeah, look out for one another.
Keep them in your thoughts and count your own blessings this winter. Isaiah Kim Martinez, WHAS 11 on your side.
It is important to remember heating safety as we head into the coldest part of the year. According to the U.S. Fire Administration, 1 out of every 5 home fire deaths involves heating equipment. So you want to keep anything that can burn at least 3 feet away from that heater, your stove, or a fireplace. Install and test carbon monoxide alarms at least once a month, and only plug 1 heat-producing appliance into an outlet at a time.